Shame on boxing to allow this. This was horrible. I am sorry. I've grown up watching Mike Tyson for years. I've watched all his fights. I've been a big fan of his, and it's just shameful. I understand it's all about money, and you want to put more money into the pockets of Mike Tyson. This is a guy that was 100 millionaire for the first couple of fights. I mean, he was robbed by Don King. This guy should have millions and millions and millions of dollars, and it was robbed by his, obviously promoters and so many people stealing from him over the years. But to see Mike Tyson the way I did in that fight, his knee wasn't 100% healthy. This guy came out and said after the fight that he lost 25 pounds. He lost a lot of blood and almost died in the hospital, and then comes back in 6 or 7 months and fights Jake Paul. It's despicable. Jake Paul, he's a great marketer. There's no question he stands for something when it comes to marketing. Mike Tyson came out. He says he's good for boxing. I don't think he's good for boxing. I think he's good for bringing in money for guys that fight him. The guy's never fought anybody good. Let's be honest. Anderson Silva washed up. The only fighter that he fought that was somewhat of a boxer was Fury, and that's why he lost against him. That was a horrible fight to watch. Everything that we've seen. Why? Because Jake Paul knocked out some self-proclaimed MMA fighters that think that they could fight. He fought a wrestler that was fat and shouldn't have been in the ring with him. He fought a guy that, to me, was a washed-up 170 fighter in the mixed martial arts world. He was no good. He was a wrestler. He had no hands. He's never fought anybody that honestly stands out from the rest. Now he's saying that he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez, or Micah Parsons come out and said, or he wants to fight Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is not a boxer. Go fight a real boxer, Jake. Fight a real boxer before you go out there and talk crap. I think you're a self-proclaimed boxer who thinks that you're a salesman for what boxing should be or what you're marketing. The fact is, that's all you are. You're a marketer. You've ruined the game of boxing. You've ruined a guy that I've looked up to. And for the fact that Mike Tyson went out there after the fight and said that Jake is a good fighter and that he believes that Jake could be a champion, says a lot about what Mike Tyson is. I think he's in a daze. I think he's been hit too many times to the head. He's smoking too much weed, or he's eating too much of his edibles that is Holyfield's ear. Holyfield can't even hear. Did you see Lennox Lewis sitting next to him before the fight, trying to speak to Holyfield and talk about the fight? Holyfield, he had to practically talk to his ear because he couldn't hear himself. I think that boxing is all about superstars, and boxing don't have superstars. Jake Paul thinks that he is one, and he can market because he's got little girls and guys, social media guys, YouTube kids following him because he goes around threatening people or wanting to box these guys for their women. I think he's a despicable person. I don't think he's much of anything. And if he really wants to fight somebody and really wants to challenge somebody, you can fight me. I'll fight you for nothing. I will fight you for nothing, Jake. I actually have boxing behind me. I was an amateur fighter for 7 years, undefeated. I will fight you at any weight class. I'll fight you in 180, 190, 200, 220, 230. You're a peewee, okay? I'm not even going to say what I really feel about you. You stand there in a ring. You can't even, after 2 rounds, and by the way, there were 2-minute rounds. There weren't even 3-minute rounds. A baby could fight for 2 minutes and actually get into a ring with you. You're a wuss. That's what you are. You are out of breath in 2 rounds, standing there and sweating. You come out in a freaking stupid Cadillac or whatever you came out, trying to think your brother's spraying crap and promoting crap on you. You're just a despicable person that wants to stand for something. And by the way, for all the ring announcers, all the broadcasters that were at the fight speaking so highly of Jake Paul, you should be ashamed of yourself. That is the most pathetic. And the fact that you had movie stars in this, the only person that really stood for something is Andre Ward. And I don't know what Andre Ward was doing there, but Andre Ward did not think, if he had anything or knew anything about what was going on, he had to know that Mike Tyson wasn't ready for this fight. Mike Tyson wasn't going into the ring to win this fight. I told everybody. My sister came out and told me she has money on Mike Tyson. There was no way Mike Tyson was going to knock out Jake Paul. There was no way that Jake Paul was going to knock out Mike Tyson because he has too much respect for him. The fact is, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul shook hands before the fight, just like he slapped him in the face. That was all planned. The whole thing was planned. It was all promoted the right way and marketed the right way. It's despicable. The judges are despicable. That girl fight, that was pathetic. That the way they freaking robbed, what's her name again?
Serrano.
Serrano, robbing her for that fight. That was absolutely despicable. Everything that was on that card was just.
But that was an actual real fight, though.
Yeah, it was. It was the best fight on the card.
100%. I agree. Like I think when it came down to it, it literally was Jake Paul basically having the marketing aspect. And can we fault him for that? No, he's done a great job. He got literally it was the highest boxing ticket revenue outside of Las Vegas ever. Yep. And we're talking about a YouTuber and a 60-year-old. Mm-hmm. Did over $17.5 million. And to know that what Jake Paul is like saying, like, I'm the face of boxing, this, that, nothing. Do you really think you have the balls enough to fight Canelo? And first of all, Canelo is a respected, great boxer. Canelo's not going to waste his time with you to disrespect his sport. It's not going to happen. That's just, that would be me personally. Because what does it matter? He hasn't fought anybody. And like you said, the only one that he really even fought was Fury, and he got beat. And he's fought Nate Robinson, Anderson Silva.
Needs a Kinney, by the way. Nate Robinson's doing really, really bad. He's right now fighting for his life. I don't know if anybody knows that.
Yeah.
So it is horrible. And Jake Paul should be ashamed of himself. He's nitpicking his fights.
You can't blame him because he's having such a draw right now where it's like, oh, I can go make $3 or $4 million or $5 million. Obviously, you're not going to make Mike Tyson money, but you're going to make an easy money to get embarrassed, knocked out, like whatever. Like,
yeah, but that's what he's doing. He's picking his fights. He's like,
I'm not disagreeing with you.
These guys. He's teeing off on these guys.
100%. I'm not disagreeing. You can't say that he's not doing a great job because
he's a good marketer.
Our dumbasses still sit and watch. Like Owen and I, we sat there and watched and ordered pizza and hang out.
It was glitches. By the way, shame on fucking Netflix. Okay?
Oh, it was terrible.
It was horrible. It was horrible. Anybody that's going to promote anything live on Netflix again, pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. I would never do that. Netflix, they're a great organization. They put so many different shows and programming. Great. Live shit, keep it away from Netflix. I'm cursing on this. For anybody to go out there and think that was a sale and because it was on Netflix, that will never happen again. And Howard Stern is absolutely right to sit there and believe that what they did and how they promoted it was something to sell. Even the before the fight, they were doing the promotion of the fight with Mike Tyson and following Tyson and making it seem like it was Showtime or HBO. It was poorly done. Everything was poorly promoted on Netflix, and they should be ashamed of themselves. Yeah, Jake Paul you're right. You're absolutely right, Jabba. You can't hate him for the marketing end of it. The guy just made $40 million and is laughing to the bank. But the fact is, what we are seeing right now in professional boxing is absolutely despicable. You're going to tell me right now the biggest draw is Jake Paul?
Like watching a high school fight, to be honest. Tyson was out there biting his gloves. Jake Paul was throwing weak jabs. Obviously, the streaming issues. It was all just a wreck. Watching Mike Tyson go out there and kind of stumble around, especially when you see the videos of him in training camp, beating the shit out of his, boxing partner, his spar partner. And then he goes out there and just stands around and bites his gloves. I don't know if there's a fix to it. I don't know if Jake Paul paid him some money, but it looked like he's biting his gloves instead of wanting to go out and unleash. And because it didn't even look like Jake Paul was defending himself. It didn't look like it was just a mess. It was a masquerade. It was just everybody dancing around, Mike Tyson just biting his gloves. And then they're like, hey, good fight. Thanks for the money. Everybody that watched it.
Bowing down to him? I mean, seriously,
jokes on you guys because you all tuned in for this joke.
First of all, I didn't tune into anything. First of all, I told you guys not to watch that garbage. I didn't even want to watch him. And coming to the ring Ring, coming home. You weren't home. You were in friggin', where was it, Texas? You're from New York. You're not coming home. Where the hell are you coming? I mean, watching Tyson, he looked old. He looked raggy. It was horrible. I feel so bad for the Tyson family. And the fact that Tyson has a loss, that on his record, he's lost to Jake Paul. Out of all the guys, McBride and Paul, two idiots that shouldn't even be on that losing record. McBride, who's just an absolute joke how he beat Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson looked like he was paid off to lose that fight. And then watching and then looking at the Paul thing, to have those two guys out of the 6 losses that you have is despicable.
Well, my first thought is it's very interesting they were able to put curtains up in Jerry's world for this fight in Texas, but they can't do it so CeeDee Lamb can catch touchdown passes for them. So I that was my first thought when I heard that. Oh, interesting. They could do that, and Jerry thought that they could do that. My second thought is that Jake Paul is. This is the quote. You guys can quote me on this. He's the toughest fake tough guy going. He is so fake tough in a way that I can't stand. The type of kid, like this is the type of kid you have like on a football team that like always only goes after kids smaller than him.
He was on the Disney Channel 10 years ago. Are you kidding me? Tough kid?
He's a
You're on
YouTube
Disney
guy.
Channel with your Logan. You guys are marketers. You're Prime. You guys are making millions. You got to give them a lot of credit. They're marketing right, but
I haven't said anything about the credit. I can't believe that they do that and they can make all this money. Good for them. Absolutely good for them. But the fact of the matter is, as you guys have all said, he's cherry picking guys he can beat and big names that'll draw the eyeballs because that's what he's good at.
Big
And
names besides Tyson, who's he fought? Give me Anderson Silva. No, anybody that sat and watched that, it's
15 years
pathetic.
past his prime in a different sport.
Give me a break.
You know,
He's
like
nobody. The guy's a loser.
you're not wrong. But it's enough.
I called him out. I'm calling him out on this show. I will fight Jake Paul anywhere. I'll fight him on the street. I'll fight him in the ring. I'll fight him in the octagon. I'll fight him wherever. I will fight him. I only need 2 months to train. I will train 2 months. If that guy's fighting 2-minute rounds, I have the stamina to go 8 rounds with him. 100%. I'll grapple with the pussy. I'll do whatever he wants. You can pick the fight. You pick it anywhere. I'll fight you in barbed wire. I'll fight you wherever you want, bro. You are a pussy. That's what you are. You're a chicken shit. You just want to beat guys up, old guys, washed up guys that know they can't take you. I'm 42 years old and whip your ass. You're 27 years old. That's what you need. You need a good ass beating because if somebody knocks this guy out, it's over for him. Over. His boxing career, done. Finito. Gone. He's a pussy. That's all I'm going to say. He's a loser and a pussy.